Howdy, 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 and welcome to another episode of the Dirt Info podcast. Carter, let's kick off this episode like every other one and start with Stylin and Profilin, and I'll let you go first.
I got it's kind of hard to see, a Logan CV shirt after he went back to back, as you can see, in the Chili Bowl. Um, and I like this one because on the back, it's got like the design is like if you're on like Spotify and you have a song on, and it's got like you can skip or go back. That's like the design, and then like the album cover is the car, which I thought was sweet.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's my shirt. Hopefully I didn't wear this one. I think I wore a different Logan CV one once, but I don't
I
think it was
believe you
this
wore a
one.
different one,
I
not
think I
that
wore
one.
the non-wing sprint car one, not the midget. So.
I think you're correct because I have that shirt.
Oh,
I
oh
bought
yeah, you
that
have this
shirt
one
when you
too?
showed me that one. Yeah, so funny, 2 episodes in a row. Last episode, I showed you a shirt and you bought it, and then this episode you're wearing a shirt that I bought because you showed me. The only thing I was bummed about that, I don't care for black. I could live without it. I'm usually the one in bright colors, but I found out after I ordered that they added like a red one or something, and then I was just bummed. I was like, dang it, I bought it when there was just black. Or I was too stupid to notice there was other colors. One or the other.
Yeah,
But yeah.
I keep buying black shirts. I try to get less, but I keep buying them. Probably won't stop either.
Yeah. I always say it's because I have two huskies, and if I bring black into the house, it's gray within seconds. And that is some of the truth. I hate seeing all them hairs. Anyway, I'm getting far. Anyway, I'm actually wearing a dirt draft shirt. So this might be like the first non-driver shirt that either one of us have maybe worn. But I'm really proud of this one because I designed it.
Oh,
So yeah, so I finally bucked up and actually asked for one. It's been a minute, and so they got one over. So they do series shirts over there, and so this is the flow racing one for last year. But I designed the front and the back, and I definitely went with like a roadside drive-in theater vibe. I stole Xavier's so I could show you the back. But
oh,
yeah,
oh, I
it
see. That's sweet.
yeah. So I actually, and if you notice, his is a little bit different. I had to get special fat guy sizes. So this is the shirt everyone else gets, and mine's like a little lighter blue because just what they had in big man sizes. It's a one of one too. I designed it, and it's a one of one. But yeah, so I designed it. I love it. It's bright and it's colorful, and I went for like an 80s slash roadside drive-in theater vibe, and they freaking nailed my vision. So uh, worked out pretty nice. So anyway, so that's that. I tried to go racing this weekend, and Mother Nature did not play nice. But you managed to get some races in, but she still messed with you a little bit. But so let's have you start with what did you do this weekend?
Yeah, I got to 4 races. The Clash at the Creek started off on Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday was good. Um, and then Wednesday was good, but then unfortunately, it rubbered in
Yeah.
the mod feature. And I could kind of see it coming during the stock car feature that it was going to rubber. Part of it was because the weather was coming and it started raining like right after the feature. It wasn't hard, but rain did come. Obviously, I don't know
Yeah.
how hard the rain's going to be when it shows up.
Right.
So they didn't have time to do track prep. The one thing I wish they did was just move the feature first instead of running sport mod stock cars first. I think that would have gave us some laps before it rubbered up. But
Yeah.
Ethan Braxma ended up winning, and I think even if it didn't rubber, Braxma probably still had a pretty good chance of winning because he was really fast on Tuesday.
Yes,
Because
he
he won
was.
one of the qualifier features, and then Cole Sharneski won the other one. But yeah, Braxma was very fast, so it might not have changed the result, or at least the winner. Anyways, so but it did suck at rubber, but you'll have that I guess sometime. So
Yeah. That'll happen.
yeah, hopefully
I
they get it
mean,
figured out for next year.
yeah, I mean, the weather has been an issue all week, right? So when you're
Yeah.
racing weather, like you said, you don't know how it's going to be when you get there. So, appreciate that they did get the show in. I watched that. It was. I'll give guys credit. There was at least passing in the mod feature, despite the conditions. There were some guys who went forward and back, and the restarts kind of were
Yeah,
really a
the
dice
restarts
roll. So
made it interesting.
yeah,
Granted,
yeah,
the most of the passing that happened after about lap 10 was because one guy got stuck on the top everyone passed him on the bottom. But
Yep. It
um,
almost was like it started to form like 1.5 lanes. So it got kind of interesting further back in the field, but yeah, inevitably it always was because someone would miss a patch
yeah,
and then yep, yep. So
yeah.
uh,
Once it rubbers, usually the only way to make it interesting is traffic because the
yeah.
leader like might try the top, and then second place is right behind them, and usually they try the top and they never ever get by the lap car. I've
They
seen it
they
so many
were
times. They always try it and it never works out. They end up just losing their spot. Um,
yeah,
and they
yeah.
got the traffic once, and then there was a caution. And then after that, I don't think they got too close to it after, if I remember right. I don't know. That was 2 days ago now. I don't remember
Yeah,
that
it's
far
it's
back.
been a hot minute. I watched it too. I tuned in partially because we talked about, partially because you were there. That was my theme. I watched stuff because Carter was there this week, pretty much. But but yeah, so they did. I think there was one time where Broxmo was so far ahead he got to traffic, and by the time everyone else sort of got around to catching up, that was when the caution. For some reason, I feel like that happened. I could be making this up in thin
No,
air, but I
that
feel like
does
that was
sound right.
yeah,
I know a lot of guys pulled off too, so there wasn't as much traffic either.
yeah,
Like I think
yeah.
it was like 12 guys left on the track at the end. It felt like an Eldora race, or sometimes you see that where there's like it's like eight to 10 cars in the by the end of the Eldora feature.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, then after the
But yeah.
clash, I guess I should mention too, just the other classes because the stock cars and sport mods both had two full shows, and they had like 30. I think the sport mods might have hit 40 one night, but they had 30 plus both nights. And they had some Nebraska guys in sport mods came, which I thought was kind of strange, but I wasn't complaining. I thought it was strange.
Yeah.
And then some Iowa guys in the sport mods and stock cars, and I should probably oh, I can't remember who won. Gonna have to do live research because I forgot. I want to shout out who won.
Uh,
Luke Lemons won one of the stock car features.
that was a
Because
Friday
that
night,
was
I believe.
actually yeah, Tuesday. That was actually a
Or Tuesday, yes,
really good
yeah.
finish. Both the sport mod and the stock car features were good finishes. Colton C won the sport mod
Hmm.
feature on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday it was Dylan Schmidt. That one was a good race. I don't honestly remember what happened. I remember it being Brady Harshberger was leading. Dylan Schmidt got by late in the race, and then Mike Mullen won stock car feature, and he runs late models now. But he got a stock
Yeah,
car too. He used to be
yeah. I
he's
think
form. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think he kind of whooped up.
Yeah,
I think he
he
just drove
started
away.
second. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a former winner of the stock car special they got, the 10,000
Okay.
one, and he's won the Clash 2 or 3 times too. But now he just has a late model on a stock car. But yeah, when he was out front, it's hard to beat him from the front row. So yeah, he kind of drove away. But yeah, Tuesday night the support honestly all four features were pretty good. But the stock cars and sport mods were really good. I remember. So then yeah, after that Friday night had Luxembourg and it rained again.
It
Um,
did. You got further though, I heard. So it wasn't a complete
oh,
don't show up. It was even more gut wrenching than that.
yeah, they didn't get a single race in, but they got the national anthem in. So
Uh,
they had like 120 cars there or something. And they got it. So they were going to start on time, and then it started raining. So it delayed them 30 minutes. They got the track all worked back in. Everyone came out and helped and packed. And then they did the national anthem, and either during or like right after the national anthem, all of a sudden it started pouring out. So I was doing the stream, so I had the headphones on, and I like looked out at the track, and it looked kind of like foggy. I was like, "What is that?" And then I took my headphones off, and I could hear the rain. I was like, "Oh, that's rain."
yeah, yeah.
I was like, "Oh, great." So yeah, they got the national anthem in, and then the rain hits. Um, and this upcoming Friday doesn't look great again.
Don't
So
even. Uh,
yeah, every
man,
Friday it rains here apparently. Every single
that's so
Friday.
tough. That is so tough. They are trying and trying and trying. Uh,
Well, let's just say
well,
by October, if they can race in October, it's gonna all the money that they have like for like specials and stuff, they don't just like get rid of it. It just moves over. So like that's why this week paid like 1,500 for the mods and stuff. It all moved over from last Sunday when they rained out, or 2 Sundays ago, I guess. So like each night just keeps getting more money added to it. So by
oh my
October, it's gonna be like 7,000 for the mods, 5,000
God.
for this. It'll just be like a humongous night that wasn't even planned.
Yeah.
Um, but
Oh, hopefully the cars just well, hopefully we get to race before then. But if
yeah,
Mother Nature plays so mean, then hopefully everyone shows up. I'm just hoping for win one way or another. They need one bad.
They have
So
two Saturday races on their schedule. It never rains on Saturday around here. So although
okay.
Luxembourg schedules on a Saturday, it might start
They
raining.
yeah, they scheduled on a Sunday and it rained on Sunday. So uh bummer.
Uh,
But
then yeah, Saturday I went to Plymouth, and Plymouth was actually really good, especially the street stocks. The street stocks was I don't know. Did you see the video I sent of the street stock
I
finish?
don't think so. I don't
So
think so. I apologize.
they were crossing the line. So down the backstretch, it was like first, second, third, like all like nose to tail. And then when they crossed the line, third ended up winning. But so like first and second like stayed on the bottom, and there was traffic, and they were kind of just like staying right behind him. And then first ended up spinning a lap car coming out of four, and so that there was one car spinning the infield, and then meanwhile, while that was happening, third just decided to run the top and said screw it, and got side by side, and they made contact, and then crossing the line, third was like pretty much getting pushed by first across the line, so that third place ended up going from third to first and winning across the checkered. But he was completely sideways. He had a flat tire going into victory lane. It was one of the craziest finishes I've ever seen, I think. It was
Jesus. I'm gonna have
yeah,
to go look this up after this episode.
it was wild. Um, and then they had good car counts too. They had like 111, I think, in four divisions, which is really good. I mean, some places don't
Yeah.
get that in five or six divisions. So, but yeah, that stood out because that was just crazy. It was Philip Wiesthoff who ended up winning. So shout out to him. Then Sunday night
Way to
was
hang
a
on.
yeah, he just sent it around the top. I was entertained.
Yeah.
Um, then on Sunday night, went to Sycamore for my first ever summer nationals race. They don't come up close to me enough, so they do a
No.
few times. I think a few years ago they went to Beaver Dam, but it was on like a Tuesday, and I don't know if I was in school or not yet, but I know I didn't go. Um, but yeah, so I went to Sycamore, and they had more late models than I thought they were gonna get. They ended up with 37 late models and only 8 street stocks. I was disappointed in that, but we'll get to the street stocks in a little bit. But yeah, 37 late models. I was hoping for 30, so I'll take 37. And
You got over.
yeah, and qualifying, not usually qualifying's whatever, it's sometimes it's okay, but it was pretty entertaining at Sycamore because the cushion was like right up to the wall in qualifying already. And then in turn four, if you got over the cushion, it was really rough. So guys were struggling over there. So it made qualifying interesting. Um, but then the feature, it didn't rubber, but like the bottom was just pretty fast. I think Fager was even saying that in his interview, like the bottom was just faster, but you could still pass on the top. I mean, the pass for the lead was on the top.
Yep.
Um, and he said so Fager was saying you could kind of like go to the top, but then like diamond down sort of to like go down the hill. And that's how he got by. Um, but yeah, I wasn't complaining about the track. Fager said it was a good track, so I guess he won too. So if you're the winner, it's always a
Yeah,
good track.
he was
But but
biased.
but it wasn't like rubbered or anything. It was still entertaining to me. Shirley towards the end, Shirley was just like ripping the top, doing all he could to try to catch back up to Fager. Um, but yeah, so that was cool to see the Hell Tour for the first time and a good car count because sometimes the Hell Tour you could get 58 or whatever like at Fairbury or you get like 23, which we'll probably see I'm sure over these next few weeks. Hopefully
Yeah.
not, but I'm sure it'll happen. Um, and
Yeah.
then and then the street stocks. There was only 8 street stocks, but their featured first and second were side by side for all 25 laps. They were like checked out, just them two. One guy was on the
Yes.
top, one guy was on the bottom, just running side by side for 25 laps. And
Uh,
the guy, I don't remember, Nick Seplak, I think, ended up winning number 11 car. He was the one running the top. So I don't know if
okay.
I don't know, maybe they planned it for the fans that stayed. Let's just run side by side all race. But
I mean, I'm still stuck. Personally, I'm stuck at 25 laps for 8 cars. I'm
there's
a
1,000 to
little
win.
stuck.
So
Okay. I feel like adjustments could have been made, but yeah.
yeah, I was hoping for like 15 street stocks,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'll take if the feature is good, I guess it doesn't matter. You can have a good feature with 2 cars. I mean, if them two are the
Yeah.
only two that showed up, it would have been a good
Turns
race.
out they did, right?
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to bring up the UTVs because I watched it, and that
Oh,
guy in the blue UTV just kicked the shit out of everybody. The guy with the green lights tried to make it interesting, but he had nothing for him in the straightaway.
yeah, the UTVs. I've seen the track before, but never with UTVs. But yeah, It was interesting, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I paid full attention to that one. I think I may have been on Facebook or something scrolling.
Well, I watched the heat race. It wasn't clear that everyone understood what the track layout was. And
Oh no,
then by
they
the
didn't even have a
feature,
heat race because they had
they
one.
did two things. I know that they
Well,
came out
the first
twice.
one was on the oval. They did the oval,
Okay.
and then the second one was that like infield off-road deal they had. They did have hot laps, so maybe that's what you saw. 'Cause they did get some hot laps
Could have been.
before
That
qualifying,
maybe
I
that's
think.
what it was. It was just an absolute free for all. They
Yeah,
drove
yeah.
wherever they
Was it really
wanted.
dusty when you watched it?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
that was the hot laps. They didn't water part of the
So,
infield where they went through.
all right. So I got to ask. So so the first one was they did the oval.
Yep.
So at that point in the night, when they're doing the oval race, you're still only at one track,
Yeah, if it
right?
rained before the infield track, I would have only been at one. Yeah.
Oh, what a waste. It would have almost been like you never went to Sycamore.
No, I've already been to Sycamore. I got the oval already. I need to get the other track. They have another for even though it's a quarter mile, they somehow have another infield like oval. I don't know if you saw the
Okay.
wall in 3 and 4. There's like that wall that kind of blocks the bottom. I don't know how it is from the camera, but it kind of blocks the corner.
That looked like a demo derby pit to me.
No,
That's what I thought
that
that
was in
was.
the infield. There was a
Okay.
demo to repit, but in 3 and 4 there was like a wall there, like in the infield kind of. Um, and it kind of blocks the bottom of 3 and 4. Like you can't see it all the way. That's the wall for the infield oval track, which they run like I've seen like they run like 4 cylinders on there sometimes and like crate late models or whatever. I've seen video of they run on there. I don't know what the size of that would be, a fifth mile or something, if the main track's
Mhm.
a quarter mile. But not often you see a unless it's like go-karts, but like you not
Yeah.
often you see a full-size car infield track on a quarter mile racetrack. Um,
No, it's not something I've seen ever
No, yeah,
before.
ever honestly. So I technically still have one more track to get there.
All right.
But I'm not gonna go seeking for it. If they happen to be running it when I'm there for something else, that's the only way I'll probably get that one.
Well, I see. I have the visions of you going through their schedule deeply to figure out if there's any way to know when they're going to run that track,
I
so
think
you can get
every
all
Friday they
four of
run on it
them.
because they run Friday and Saturdays every
They
week.
do, don't they?
Because
Yeah.
on Fridays they have like 4 cylinders, and I think that's when the demo derby pit is used and stuff. They got a whole bunch of stuff going on there. If you go through their schedule, there's like you try to scroll all the way to the bottom. It's like, geez, how many races do they got? Because they're running twice a week every week.
I love it. Right on. Well, they're doing what they can to keep racing alive. So
Yeah, and
hat
they get a
tip to
good
them.
crowd for that Friday show. That the 4 cylinder deal on Friday. I guess I actually heard they
Uh,
get better crowds for that than their like crate late models, street stock show, like their like normal racing. They get, but I guess it makes sense. Like the average fan would much rather watch like a demo derby and like
mm.
the not. I don't think I have trailer races, but like like those like wreck fest kind of stuff. I don't know what you want to call them, but you know what I'm talking about, like the Eve of Destruction type of shows. That's kind of
Oh,
I think that's
that's exactly what I was looking
yeah
for. Yep. Yep.
yeah. So like the average fan probably would go to that more, which makes sense, I guess, why they get a bigger crowd
Yeah.
for those. But too, I'll probably just stick to the street stocks and crates and stuff down there.
Right on. Right on. So, well, so that was all your racing, right? We managed to hit all the racing you did this
Yeah,
weekend,
that
right?
was all
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah. So I had grand plans to go racing. Uh, and when we recorded the episode, I had grand plans. And then they got rained out, and there was alternate plans at Cedar Lake, and then those got rained out. So I just didn't get to go racing, which was kind of a bummer. But I did get to watch a bunch of baseball. So despite racing being rained out, baseball, no sir, that was full go. We played in the rain a couple times, but so kiddo had 4 games on the weekend. I woke up on Father's Day. Woke up on Father's Day at 6 a.m. to get him to a baseball game. That's how my Father's Day kicked off. So a bunch of baseball, not a lot of racing, and then obviously spent Sunday with the boys for Father's Day. I did kind of want to give them a little bit of shout out. So I have more gifts in the mail, I've been told, but this one showed up. So this is from the boys, and It's a tape measure, and it just says, "Dad, no one measures up to you," and then love Xavier and Colton. So I think that's cool, and they got it because I'm terrible at keeping track of tape measures. So it's like a practical gift in addition to the ass kissing on it. So, so yeah, that's what I got for Father's Day. So that's how I spent my weekend. It was pretty low key. And then when I was at home, I actually didn't even watch that much racing either. I watched 2 movies this weekend. I don't think I was just bummed that everything was mostly rained out. Like all over the place stuff was rained out. So I watched Can You See Me and Can You See Me Too, or You Can't See Me, or whatever that movie was. I don't even know that I'm
Never
saying
even
it
heard of
right.
it. So
Yeah, it's about magicians who are doing crimes. It's kind of interesting. Um, Now You See Me, that's what it was. But anyway, so that's what I did. The 2 races I mostly watched were the 2 you were at. So we can kind of breeze through the what did you watch section, because I don't think you caught much of anything either, right?
just some sprint car stuff
Yeah.
in like West
Anything
Coast. James
anything
McFadden
interesting?
came to the States and won 4 out of 5.
Yeah,
Um,
I did see that.
and then I watched one day of the Knoxville show with the Outlaws and David Gravel won. So that's
Yeah,
pretty much all I saw.
yeah. They
And then
had a
I
ton of cars there,
yeah,
didn't
they had
they?
like
They ended up racing
60,
C-Mains.
6410s. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I
Speaking of
caught,
C-Mains, hold
oh,
on
go
real
ahead.
quick. Reverse the back to Sycamore. I've never seen a C-Main for late
No,
models.
they run, that's their normal format. They run those. They
Okay.
had one every single day this week. They run
Really?
C-mains.
Okay.
Yeah. I always, it's
That
kind
shows
of
you how much I've been
strange,
paying
but yeah,
attention. I'm not used to that.
they run a C-main. I don't know. It's kind of strange, but I mean, whatever.
Yeah,
I'll take the extra race.
I
Some
guess.
some of the races this week probably didn't need an extra race when they got done, but it
Is
wasn't too
that
late.
new this year?
Mm-mm. I know they had it last
Damn.
year for
I
sure.
guess I haven't paid that much attention. Shows what I know. But anyway, I learned something new. I really don't catch a lot of L2 races, so I'm not even that upset about that. Um, but anyway, you were talking Knoxville Gravel one. And then yeah, James McFadden. I did see he came back and crushed 4 out of 5 of the, what is that, the fastest 5 days in motorsports or something
Yeah.
they call it over there with NARC.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
up in like Oregon and Washington, I think, were the 2 states they're in. So
yeah, yeah. So, well, this weekend, I think I'm gonna make it to a racetrack. I actually, maybe you can help me figure out where I'm going. So I have a bit of a blank slate. So I think we'll transition to where are you going this weekend? Um, so I have a bit of a blank slate, and I'm debating where I want to go and what I want to see. So the contenders are, um, I'll start with the farthest fetched one. I don't think this is a real contender, but I'm debating it, which would be Friday at I-94 for the Tri-State late models. They have 2 shows there, so they got rained out for the King of Dirt show a couple weeks ago. So they have that makeup feature, and then they're also just were scheduled to be there this weekend anyway. So that's a contender. That's a long drive for me. That's like 2.5-ish hours on a Friday after work. That's tough. Although I guess they could play hooky. Anyway, other contender would be Princeton on Friday as well to see the Street Stock Tour. Otherwise, I could go to Ogilvie on Saturday to see the Street Stock Tour. Or Sunday, I can go to Granite City and see the Street Stock Tour and the Super Stock Tour.
you could also
So
do
I'm not
all 3 of
sure.
those.
I could, but that's probably. I am in a relationship, and as much as she loves going to the racetrack, every now and again I try to do something she wants to do more. So I think at best I can maybe pull 2 out of 3, but I'm gonna have to give up a night. I know that for a fact. So, funny thing is she can hear me recording this, and some of this is probably news to her what's being considered. So I'll check back next episode to see what she decided. But no, I don't know that the Tri-State late models have just been having so many cars lately. I'm really intrigued by that show, but I do think I'm gonna just keep it local. I'm probably, if I was a betting man, I'd say it's just gonna end up being Ogilvie on Saturday.
That would be the
And
one
I'm
I'd
gonna,
pick, I think.
yeah, yeah,
But I like street stocks a lot, so.
Yeah,
I think you get your best bet for the highest car count there probably too. Like out of the three, I'd assume probably
yeah.
that one.
I believe so. Yeah, it feels that way. Although I haven't actually, shame on me, I haven't been to Princeton since they switched back to Wissota. Last year I believe was the first year they were Wissota in a while. I haven't been back. I didn't get there last year. I should really be back. So that's also a contender. That's actually the first race track I took Sherry to as well, is Princeton.
They have
So
USMTS here this year? Because weren't they supposed to have it last year and it like rained or
they
something?
do. They do
Oh,
have them there. Yeah.
that'd be a
Which is
good one to
also,
go to.
yeah, that's also a tentative one as well. But I don't know. On a low key weekend, that feels like a good Friday night kind of just. I don't have to, it's not too far away, and I don't think it's going to be super busy or anything. It should be a good show. I don't know. I might end up there. I'll report back next episode, but it's probably one of those two. Um, but anyway, where are you going this weekend?
Just only two races. Friday I'm going to hopefully go to Luxembourg, and then Sunday I got to go to Angel Park. Those are my only two places. Saturday I got a wedding to go to, so
All right.
that's
So
yeah, not often
it's
do I
not
miss a
your wedding, is
Saturday.
it?
No.
Okay.
If it was my wedding, I could promise you it wouldn't be anywhere between April and like October. So
All right, ladies, you heard him. If you want, if we lead with that, we can rule out some contenders. Is all I'm saying. Anyway, but well, that should be fun.
free cocktails at the wedding too. That's so,
Ooh.
so hopefully I make it to Angel Park the next day. And I'm not sleeping.
So we should mark Angel Park as tentative. Do you need me to give you a phone call at a given time to make sure you're awake? Because I can do
I'll
that.
probably have about 8 alarms set. So
All right. Well, one of the last times you got teed up there, I think there was some interesting chatter in the Discord. So we'll cross our fingers and see what happens this time. Anyway, but um, so other than going to the races, though, there is some racing that I'm keeping an eye on. I may one or both of us may check in and watch some of it. But I think the one that is mostly interest just me is the USMTS is after getting rained out at Cedar Lake is going to give it another go. They're at Casino yesterday, but given the precarious timing of oh, we do all this, someone won and I don't know who it was. but and then they're at off road on Wednesday or today. And then they're going topless this weekend at Route 66 in Texas. So I'll probably catch part of that along the way. Topless mods is kind of cool. Have you seen topless mods very much?
not
Yeah,
like all
at
the
least if you're
time,
not
not
a
as much as
Tom,
you probably
but
have, but
yeah,
they used to have a topless special at Luxembourg in like 2010, 2011.
okay.
I remember going to it. I don't know when the last time I've seen them though. It's probably been a while. So
Yeah, they definitely race a little bit different. It can be kind of cool. Um, they're a little more loose, I believe, is how that goes. But we were well stated in our technical abilities. But without a roof panel to kind of hold everything
yeah,
down, you can imagine they kind of move around a little bit. Same as the labels. But so that'll be cool. I'll catch some of that. Um, and then also sort of in USRA land, real quick, I just shout out to our buddies over at Carl.
oh, you're back.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, they got the Carl Fensky Memorial this weekend, and that's $1,999 to win for mods there too. So I wouldn't be shocked if they get a fairly decent car count. So I saw that earlier today and kind of wanted to just throw it in on the USMTS USRA front. As I mentioned last week, so they didn't race this weekend, so there's not for me to add, Carter. But the championship battle remains close with four guys: Tanner Mullins, Rodney Sanders, Kyle Strickler, and Jim Chisholm. Yeah, nothing changed. Can you imagine that? They didn't race and it just stayed the same, Carter. So anyway, that's something I'll be keeping an eye on. Otherwise, there's the late model tours are back. I think both of them are back this
Yep.
weekend. Oh yeah. We had mentioned Lucas tried to race last weekend and they got rained out too. There's rain everywhere, man. Uh but so Lucas is Firecracker 100 this weekend at Lernerville.
I feel like it's too
Um
early for it. I don't even think it's usually on 4th of July, but that just feels like it should be on the 4th of July.
this has always been one where the name feels like it should be in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I think it is out if I recall. So but that show format is um qualifying features for 2 days.
Yeah, it's like isn't it split?
Two
Don't they?
split features,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Two split features Thursday, two split features Friday. 5,000 to win both of those, and then 100 laps for 50,000 on Saturday. So um why does my brain keep telling me this recently moved? Did this move
No,
somewhat recently, or this has always been there, right?
hillbilly 100 moved
There it
from
is.
West Tyler County to Lernerville. That's in
To
I think
Lernerville.
September or
That's what it
something.
was. Okay, there it is. That's why the Lernerville thing was beeping in my brain. But no, I can I think Tim McCready is solid there, and Max Blair will be there since he dropped
Tim
off
McCready
tour.
won't be
And
there though. Tim McCready will
no,
be
he
with the
won't. He
Outlaws.
has the freaking Outlaws. I'm all discombobulated. Yeah, I was trying to think of something to say about this, but despite all my research, I'm coming up completely blank on what to add. So if you've got anything cool about it, add it. Otherwise, we'll talk about that.
The Rush late models pay 20 grand too. So there's that.
Oh yeah, that is kind of cool. I bet I wouldn't be shocked if they had more cars in
Yeah,
the for the Rush
I
late
think it's
models.
usually pretty close. Like I think they
Yeah,
might actually have had more maybe last year. I think Max Blair
yeah,
usually always runs that too,
yeah.
and
And
probably
he's
will win
freed
it.
up, as I mentioned. I was at least right about that, but he's freed up. I think he plans on being there. So yeah, can he win both? Wouldn't that be a hell of a Saturday? He went on that streak not too long ago where he won like 4 features in 4 days and over a
Oh
weekend
yeah.
in Pennsylvania. So yeah. Oh, I guess we're on Max Sweep watch. There we go. That'll be our headline. But anyway, and then World of Outlaws is at Peevely or I-55, however you want to call that, with
Hell
the Summer
Tour, Summer
Nationals.
Nationals, yeah,
Yeah, yep.
co-sanctioned. So that should be really high car count.
I imagine so. Yeah, I think we were chatting a little bit before we started recording, and you had noticed that on Monday there was a fair few more Outlaws running this week of the Hell Tour. So
Yeah, I mean, it might have only been like
yeah.
three, but Tim, Winger, and there's one more, and I can't remember who it is. There's one more though that's there. Gustin. 'Cause
Augustin, yeah,
I
I
only
did
know it
see
because
that.
he's in the B main right now at Wilmot. So
Uh,
him and Jake Tim are on the front row.
all right. And then Troutman is running still. Is he there?
Yep, he's still
Was
there.
okay, yeah. So he ran last week. So
Shirley's
there's a
been
few.
running it. Yeah, there's a
Shirley's been
good amount of
running. Yeah.
all the Illinois Outlaw guys pretty much, besides Pierce. Pierce is on vacation in Florida apparently. So
Yeah. Yeah. He's earned it. He's won a lot of races. So, but yeah, that should be interesting. Like you said, I imagine a fairly good car count, and I think they're racing for 12 and 20. So solid pay. A little bit of a bump for the Hell Tour guys too. So, um, but anyway, I did also want to. So we had discussed what to call this. We'll call it regional roundup for this week only, and we'll see if it comes back as a feature. But the idea is kind of just highlighting a region of some sort of class somewhere that kind of has cool things happening this week or next or whatever. But anyway, so I just wanted to talk. The more and more we sort of look around the landscape, we've been talking more and more about like late models in the Iowa, Minnesota, uh, sort of area. The car counts have been big. South Dakota, right? We were talking
yeah,
about 52. So I figured we'll just take a peek at that. So the SLMR raced on Sunday for 3,000 at Mason City, and Chad Simpson won. So he was at Eldora last weekend, and now he's winning
was it
$3,000.
Chad one or was it
Great.
Chris?
I wrote down Chad.
Okay, I didn't
Pretty
know.
sure it was Chad.
I couldn't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah, 25, right?
Yeah, okay, yep, that'd be
Yep,
Chad.
yep, yep. So Chad Simpson. Um, I think Chris Simpson might actually be on the Outlaw tour now. You remember a couple weeks ago he was
No,
running
I
some.
don't.
Did that fall through
He
now?
did that thing with who was it that
Coleman,
with
was it a Coleman Far? Coltman Farms team?
Was it them? Yeah, or no, was it Kohler? Was it with
Kohler, that's what it
Owens?
was. Yep,
But
yep, yep.
they Dirt on Dirt had an article, and he's like, no, I'm not going to be running the whole thing. This was like when I'm nearby, like, and I'm going to go to it, kind of thing. That's all it is. So
Okay, all
he,
right, all right. Yeah, that's the last I'd seen of him. And then Eldora, obviously, that was unfortunate. But
because he wasn't at Chris Simpson wasn't at like those PA races in like Bedford or wherever they were. You said he
no,
was on the Outlaw.
and
Yes,
that was and
He
that would
didn't
have
go
been
out there.
after.
Yeah.
Yep, yep. Yeah, I was trying to think of timing and everything. Oh, that makes sense. So, but anyway, it was Chad. Back to the original point. And then the NLRA was at Devil's Lake Speedway for 5,000 for the 7th annual Golden Hammer. And they had 43 entries. So I thought that's still a lot of cars. And Dustin Strand won that. And then I decided to see what was going on. I mentioned a little bit. So this is part of the reason I'm debating on I-94 is just because we're seeing all these car counts. But so, like I mentioned, NLRA is at I-94 and then Devil's Lake again. Tri-State is at Murray County. So those were the guys that we were talking about in South Dakota that had the 50 plus was Tri-State. And you and I have talked about them a little bit. They kind of allow multiple packages, right? Like with
Hmm.
soda, and then there's a restrictor plate option, some other stuff.
It's like the
And they
Dirt
have
Kings rules. I think it's
yeah,
like almost, yeah, because you can run it like a super with like a restrictor or something. I don't know. That's getting a little bit too in depth for me, but it's something like that where you can run more rules. Where with soda,
yeah,
you have to be with soda legal to run it,
yeah,
obviously.
yeah. So, well, Tri-State seems to be pulling in a lot of cars this year. So, well, I mean, it's another thing I'm following along. But yeah, so they're at Murray County for 1,500, and then SLMR is back this weekend at Lafayette and Winneshiek, 3,000 each. And then, speaking of Dirt Kings, I noticed they have that. I know they're a little bit east of the folks I'm talking about, but I did see they're running for $4,700, so I threw it in my roundup. So $4,700 at
Oh, yeah, at
yeah,
141. Yep.
141. Yeah, this
Yeah,
mic
for
is
the
being picky today.
uh
So
and then it's 47 laps too. It's the it's memorial for someone, a Letizia. I know it's for someone related to the Turk Letizia whose races. I think he's at Wilmot tonight. Diamond Jim. I think it's like the Diamond Jim 47. I know it's that's what I think
okay,
that's what it's called. Yeah, it was at 141 for a while, and then 141 won a few years without late models, and then last year they brought him back. So that event moved back there. Um, and I saw they usually like I don't know if he's still going, but Tim Ward was thinking about bringing his late model. I saw on TikTok some was soda guy or some was I didn't recognize him, but I saw it on TikTok that he had a thing saying getting ready for 141. I was like, who is this? I
uh,
looked at it and he was from like the Wasota area, so thought that
you
was
remember who it
strange.
was? You
I do
can't recall the
not.
name off the top of your head?
I
Okay.
saw it early last week.
Huh.
But I just thought it was strange. But hey, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take the Travelers even though I won't be there.
Yeah, you'll be at a wedding, uh, getting loaded and watching it on your phone, probably. If I had to guess.
There is a chance that one at Lafayette, the SLMR show you mentioned,
Yep.
there's a small chance, but I would go there if I'd have to get done with work early enough, and Luxembourg would have to rain out early enough. But I want to get there. There's just like not that much that I really care about going to there, but that is one of them that I'd like to go to there. So,
Okay.
and it's in Wisconsin. It's just all the way over by Dubuque, pretty much. So
So that one's on watch. Sounds unlikely-ish, but there's a chance. So,
if
well,
circumstances align, yeah,
yeah,
I'd go there.
right on. See, even when we talk about our schedule, we're still like, well, there's a chance.
I always got backup plans for rainouts usually.
Yeah, yeah. Carter's definitely more dedicated to get into a track. Sometimes if I get rained out, I'm just gonna I'll go do something else. Yeah, one track mind sometimes. Um, but anyway, and then I think sort of outside of the regional roundup, but just something cool that we saw that I want to mention before we transition to our next segment, the road. But so there 67 Speedway of Texarkana has an interesting show this weekend. It's the Rick's Towing 11th annual Mike Parker Memorial, but they're running USRA factory stocks for 10,000 to win, and they're running stock cars for 10,000 to win. And stock cars looks to be like a smorgasbord of IMCA, USRA with some specific carb
Arkansas
rule,
thing
and then
too. Arkansas
Arkansas
stock cars
stock
or
cars,
whatever.
whatever that might be. So, but that's 20 grand for a total, and 10 grand for each class. So that's kind of interesting. I believe that's on Race On. I don't have a subscription to
Probably.
Race On, so
That's in that
so
area.
so I doubt I'll see it. I might catch highlights, but still want to draw attention to a big show like that. That's pretty cool. So I'll definitely look up who won and we'll talk about it. And who knows, for 10 grand and IMCA is we may know the winner, or maybe we won't. Who knows? Maybe it'll be a local
It
again.
depends. Yeah,
So,
if a local wins,
yeah.
we probably won't have heard of him.
Yeah, but it feels big enough that you could see a guy or two that maybe you wouldn't totally expect end up down there. And I could be
Yeah.
talking out of my ass, but it does feel like that you could see a driver or two. So, worth kind of keeping an eye on.
And then I want to mention too, it's in a weird spot, so it's going to be short, but the Harris Clash is on this upcoming Tuesday.
Or yesterday.
Not yesterday. It's not
Oh,
tomorrow. It's
oh, it's
just
not tomorrow. Oh, I misunderstood
because
what day it was. Rant on. Let's talk.
oh yeah, or maybe I don't even need to talk about it. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
in a
you
weird
do.
yeah, because yeah, when we record next week,
Yep.
it'll be after
Yep.
it. So yeah, the Harris Clash is on the 24th of June, and it's 4,000 for mods, 3,000 for stock cars, and 2,000 for sport mods, and that's at Boone Speedway this year. Um, and it came up kind of quick because it used
Yeah.
to be in August, and now they moved it to June because I kind of
Yeah.
forgot it was even happening. Um,
Yeah.
so
I'm
yeah,
making that face because it was at Deer Creek last year and the year before. I think it's been there for a few years, and
yeah,
I just kind of found out about this show, and like my IMCA fandom's growing, and then like then one year I would have made an effort to go because it is a midweek show. Oh,
yeah.
it's
It's
in
always on
Boone.
Tuesday. Yeah,
Yeah,
they moved it to Boone. Uh,
yeah,
I bet you it'll get more cars at Boone, but I don't know. I just liked it always for the last few years. It was always at like a track that like didn't really have like IMCA mods. It was at like Webster City. I know at one point it was at Knoxville. I'm pretty sure at one point it was kind of always in like a area that didn't have it, but now it's at Boone. Which Boone Race is good, but I just kind of like that
yeah.
aspect of it being in a spot that didn't typically have IMCA mods there. But then I just saw before we recorded, Ricky Thornton Jr.'s got a stock car and a mod for that show. So
Right
I don't think
on.
they're his, but he's got one. So
He'll be driving them.
yeah,
Right on. I guess that move to Iowa allows him that's what he had mentioned when they sort of talked about it, is it allow him to hit up some different stuff. So this
yeah.
is one of those things.
Although
Yeah.
he's run at Boone a lot before, obviously running a late model. So
Yeah. 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 No, that is a one of those cool shows that is just something I've learned more and more about kind of over the last year or so. And so um it did come up quick. It
do
did
we
come
want
up
to
quick and
mention two real quick? Sorry to cut you off.
no, you're
Independence
fine.
races the day before on Monday, and that's the World of Outlaw late model show. So that's in another weird spot.
Yeah.
So I guess we can just toss that in there
Yeah.
too. I think
Yeah.
they'll get a lot of some people might not like this, but I think they're going to get a lot of cars in the support classes because a little mini speed week is sort of forming. Um,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I saw some Iowa guys or Wisconsin drivers are going there in like the mods and stuff on
Okay.
Monday. So
And
if
then
there's
Harris Clash.
35, 40 mods in support of the World of Late models, sorry to the mod haters, I guess.
So what else are you? So you said there's little meeting speed. Are you just talking Monday, Tuesday?
Yeah,
This,
but I guess you could
yeah,
technically run Friday, Saturday, Sunday too. Um,
yeah,
then Monday,
yeah,
Tuesday. Who knows? There might be some Wednesday. Um,
yeah. Right on. Well, is that on? That's not on Flow, no.
what, Harris Clash?
Harris Clash,
That's on
right? That's
IMCA
on
TV.
IMCA TV. Okay. Yeah. All right. Bummer. I won't even probably be able to catch it, but it sounds like you're dedicated to watch.
I'll
So
probably get it. Yeah.
yeah, so you'll tell us more about it. But all right. Well, I think that really is everything, Carter. That means it's time for.
The one for the road, and mine is a local show at Shawano Speedway. They have it's a memorial race. I was trying to find it, but I can't remember who it's for. I apologize. There's so many memorial races,
There is.
Yeah, but it's 2,500 to
They're
win
all
for this.
worthwhile. I want to
y-
say they're all
Yeah,
worthwhile.
it's but it's 2,500 to win for the IMCA stock cars this weekend at Shawano. I'm not sure how many they'll get, but that's a pretty good payday for stock cars. So I'm gonna keep my eye on it, especially because it's local. It's Scott Wiesniakt Memorial. Might have pronounced the last name wrong. That's the memorial. But yeah, 2,500 to win for the stock car. That's how they also added street stocks, which they never run them there at Shawano. They were supposed to have them this last weekend, but rain got them. But they added them because 141 has the street stocks off, so they'll be up there too.
Okay.
So some guys that pretty much may have never run a half mile because that's the only one really around here that runs that races. So some street stock guys can get a chance to run on one if they want to. So
Hmm, right on. And then you did talk about a
oh
couple things last week. So if we want to, do you want to
yes,
recap those real quick?
yes, at Hancock County Speed, was it the Hobo Hustle? Was that the name of it? Hobo
What did
something.
we, yeah, what did we call that? The Hobo Hustle Stock
Yes.
Car Shootout. Yep.
Kelly Shyrock ended up winning, and then on Sunday at Park Jefferson, the I think it was RTI Nationals was the name. Travis Barker ended up winning that at Park Jefferson. So I think
Yeah.
they had 25-ish for that and 19 for the Hancock show. A little lower than I thought, but not like there was still some big. I mean, at Hancock, Shyrock, both Murdy's were there and stuff. So
Yeah.
still had some big names
Yeah.
show up.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when we had kind of mentioned there might be something to do on Saturday, I saw that the Dirt Crown ran. I don't even remember where, but it was 2 grand, and Jim Hireshi, I believe,
Oh,
won.
I think it's
So
Horish or something. I know who that is. He's from
Porsche,
Minnesota. Yeah.
yeah, okay, yeah. I may have butchered his name as well, but for some reason, I every time I see it, I want to say it that way. But that was the fill in the big money weekend. So, um, but all right. So for mine, I kind of want to give a shout out to one of my semi local drivers, Wissota modified driver. Brandon Kopp went up to
City.
Thunder City Speedway in Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada, for their Heartbeat Hot Sauce Spring warm up. And he won both features. So they had complete shows Friday and Saturday, 1,500 to win, and he won both of them. So they had, I think they had somewhere a little above 20 modifieds there, and there's definitely Cole Charnosky and Dave Kane and the like were there. So he managed to pick up 2 wins over a pretty stout field. So I thought that was pretty neat. I believe he won the night before in what would have been the opening night of the or one of the nights of the Northern Storm at Proctor.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
they
he did
ran
win.
Thursday.
Yep.
Yep, and he picked up the win there too. So he went 3 for 3 on the weekend. At least I didn't see how he did on Sunday, but he went 3 for 3 from Thursday through Saturday, uh, and left Canada $3,000 richer. So definitely worth shouting him out. He's
Is there a is there a difference? Like I know the money's different. Is like the like it's like $1 here, like $1.50 there.
Oh, I don't know exactly what the conversion is, but see if it was Canadian or American, but but yeah. Um, so I just saw it was $1,500. It looked like a US dollar sign, so let's say it was. But yeah, so good on him for winning 3. That's always tough to, it's tough enough to win 1, much less 2 at a bit of a spring special, and then another one the night before. So 3 in a row is tough
I
to
will
get.
say
So
when I saw the name of that, I think it was technically still spring because in summer, like I don't know when summer technically starts, but it's in June. But a name with the word spring in it in June just feels weird to me.
yeah, so I found out today at work the summer solstice is this weekend. So we are
Oh, so it's still
still
in spring. It does.
officially in
I will say
spring.
it does feel like spring. At Luxembourg, if they got the race in, it was going to be like low 50s by
Uh,
feature time. It felt like spring. So it looks like it's finally warming up this week. Unfortunately, the spring rain is still here. So
Yeah, I mean, like today on recording day, it's 80 and it's rained like twice, and I'm in a tornado watch or something. So it's just
Yeah,
like
the rain starts
spastic
tomorrow for me.
weather. Yep. Yeah, it's coming your way.
Yeah,
I'll send it over to you. But anyway, so well, I think that mentioned that's everything we had planned to talk about today, and we came in at a kind of tidy under an hour for sure. So we want to thank everyone again for hanging out with us. We can't express to you enough how much we absolutely appreciate that. We understand there's a million and one other things you could be watching or doing, and you decide to spend an hour with us once a week. So what the hell's wrong with you? But anyway, we appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in again, and we'll catch you next.
yeah.